Now, this impulse to do something is the core of the ego. It's just, in Buddhist terms, it is the core dissatisfaction, dukkha. And it is because of this dissatisfaction that we are impelled to reach for something. Well, most people are out in the world reaching for substances, activities, relationships, and so on, objects. So in the spiritual traditions, at least in the early stages of the spiritual traditions, the objects which we reach for are refined. We're no longer going for the substances, the relationships, the activities, but we are still going for something. We must be, if we're doing something, we must be saying, I don't like where I am now. I don't like what is. I want to do something. We're no longer drinking and smoking, but we're still doing something. We're still moving from where we are now. We're trying to replace what is present now with something that we imagine will be present in the future if we do this practice. So these practices are a refinement of the conventional search for happiness in objective experience. And that's fine for a while, but sooner or later we have to ask the question, why? What am I escaping from? And who is the one that is escaping from it? What for? And at some point we recognize that our meditation practice up until now is a subtle extension of our search for happiness in objective experience. We've just refined the objective experience. It's now a mantra instead of the glass of beer or whatever it was. And as I say, no implied criticism. I practiced mantra meditation for 20 years. But in the process, the impulse to move away from ourselves, the impulse to achieve something, to acquire something, to understand something, to know, it winds down. The seeking, resisting impulse winds down. And when it winds down completely, it leaves us in peace. And the highest meditation is therefore not something we do. It's what we are. It is just to be. And as we are already that, it requires no effort. There is no distance from ourself. There's no distance from our being to our being. What room could there be for a practice or an effort or a discipline? Any effort would take us away from where we are now, towards something which is not yet present. That is suffering. That's the definition of suffering. The moving away from what is.